We've only ever been to the movies together once. We went to see the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, and I gotta be honest, I fell asleep.
You know him as a singer, songwriter, director, author, vegan, all-around great guy. Rob, so good to see you. Welcome to the Power Hour.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So obviously, you know, there's so much great stuff coming up, including you're going to be playing both the Welcome to Rockville and Sonic Temple festivals coming up. But I also saw this is the 20th anniversary of one of your classic films, and I cannot believe that we're about to start hitting these incredible anniversaries of all these movies. And what's it like for you looking back all these years on your film work?
Well, it's pretty weird because the first movie, you know, I mean, I actually made the movie 23 years ago, but this is the 20th anniversary of it actually being released because it had such a, you know, a screwy history of getting released by being dumped by Universal, then dumped by MGM. You know, people like to talk about cult movies and what a cult movie is. This is truly a cult movie because it was a movie that got terrible reviews that no one cared about, that got dumped by studios. And luckily Lionsgate picked it up, but the fans ran with it, you know.
And the fans are the most important thing. At the end of the day, it's what the fans think. And they love it and consider it a classic. Yeah. Rob, it's so great to see you. Last time we saw each other, we were at the Whiskey A Go-Go, right?
Yes, we were watching Kiss, the beginning of the end. Was that actually the beginning of the end of the road tour? I think it was. I think that was where they started, right?
Yeah, it was the day that they couldn't actually get all their outfits on and their boots on in the Whiskey. There wasn't enough room, so I think they had to do it at the Rainbow and like walk down the street.
Yeah, they like walked out, yeah.
walk down Sunset. And they weren't very happy about it, by the way, but it was great. It was really great hanging out with you. So I've got you, Rob, you know, it's amazing. I'm looking back on it now. Since we've been doing things together, really since the White Zombie days, we did so much cool stuff together.
Yeah, long time.
At MTV and through radio and TV over the years. But can we talk about just your performances, because you got as much more swagger, more edge. I mean, I saw you Louder Than Life, and I was just so blown away. Can we talk about your live shows, because they just crush? You give everything when you come and perform live.
Well, yeah, the live show is everything to me. I mean, you know, every business has changed so much. Like the music business sucks compared to what it used to be. It used to be really fun. You know, a record came out, you bought the record, you did an in-store, thousands of fans showed up. It was like this really felt like electric. You wait for your video on MTV, all this shit. And now it's just like, hey, did you see the numbers on YouTube? You're like, what the fuck? And this horse shit. But with that being said, the live show is exactly the same in the experience. That's especially why I like touring with the Coupe, because that is the closest I ever feel like being on the road, like in what I should have been born sooner and earlier. I mean, I could have toured in the 70s.
I would love to ask you what it was like being on the road with your brother. Powerman 5000, that was so cool because I remember you posting something. You're probably one of my favorite people to follow on Instagram because you're constantly posting these throwbacks and these incredible moments that a lot of us didn't even know had happened. But you posted this old photo of you and your brother saying, it's finally going down. We're going to be going on the road together. And I thought that was incredible.
Yeah, last summer was fantastic. I mean, we had a really good time. And everybody on the tour, not just my brother, but everybody, we were talking about, like, we go, this tour feels like how Ozfest used to feel. You know, and that's the vibe I wanted. You know, it's like, you know, it wasn't like a million bands, there was just 4 of us, but there was sort of like that sort of camaraderie and vibe. So it was great having Powerman on board and Static X and Mudvayne. It was a good time. And this summer's, again, even bigger and crazy with Filter and Ministry and Alice Cooper. It's going to be awesome.
Actually, speaking of that run with Alice Cooper, we had him here a couple of weeks ago, and he told me that you guys get along so well because you both find comedy in thrillers and horror films, and it just made me picture you and Alice Cooper sitting in a theater together, watching a scary movie, and when someone gets scared, you guys just like laughing your asses off. But he had nothing but good things to say about you, of course.
Yeah, I love Alice. I've known Alice now for, I don't even know how long, at least 25 years, maybe longer. And we've only ever been to the movies together once. We went to see the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, and I gotta be honest, I fell asleep.
I'm surprised he didn't tell us that part.
Yeah, he probably didn't even notice. But like, you know, like it was while we were on tour, man, I was tired. We're in the theater and comfortable, and the movie was boring, and I was like, it was out.
That's awesome. And there was also a question that I asked Alice that I wanted to ask you as well, because it was one thing I truly didn't know about Alice and Cheryl, his wife that he's been with for a really long time. I asked him, what does a date night look with the two of you? And he had a hilarious answer. He said that he takes Cheryl to a cheap motel and they act like they're just newly together. But I would love to know what you and Sherry do on a date night and what you guys get into. I know that you're both vegan, so I want to know if you have any vegan restaurant recommendations or anything like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, when we're in LA, for sure. I mean, every 2 blocks is a vegan restaurant. I mean, some of them are crap because there is now, we tend to not eat like, people like, I didn't think you could get fat being a vegan. Oh, you can get fat.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Look at the calorie count. Go to Veggie Grill and go like, God damn, 1,500 calories for this taco? We go everywhere, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Which is actually what it starts looking like. What do you want to eat? I don't know. Where should we go? I can't think of anything. I'm pretty bad with remembering restaurants.
It was great because you and Sherry took me out to dinner when I used to live in New York and I came to LA and I was working. It was so cool. You were like, hey man, you want to go have dinner? We're going to go to a cool vegan restaurant. And you
Here we go. Do you remember where it was? You remember everything.
That's how I know.
He does. He remembers everything.
I usually do.
Well, that was fun, man. We loved hanging out with you.
All right, so Alice and Cheryl have a cheap motel date, but then Rob and Sherry just do whatever floats their boat.
Right.
Yeah,
They just do whatever the heck they want.
They go to cheap motels and we take Matt out to dinner. That's our.
There you go.
You know what else I got to say, Rob? One of the things I love that we bonded over, and people always think that you just like really one kind of music, but
Yeah.
a lot of rock guys that I talk to listen to everything, and I know Josh also loves this artist very much. We all have this thing, we love Jim Croce.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that your musical taste is so wide.
Well, I mean, it never was really like on purpose. I mean, I was talking about this just the other day. I think it was because, again, with the time period we grew up in, you listen to the radio and okay, they just played Kiss, but now they're playing Diana Ross. Oh, now they're playing Alice Cooper. Well, now they're playing ABBA. And you just sort of listen to everything. But then as time goes on, you just kind of like it. And I hope people are still the same way. I know everything gets so compartmentalized with satellite radio, which is even old news anyway, I guess. But everyone's just, here's my playlist and this is all I care about. I like to still go and just download tons of records that I'm like, I never listened to this before. Let's see what this is all about.
But that's it. That's why I had to bring up the Jim Croce thing, because I always loved that you and I bonded over that. And then I talked to other rock stars and other musicians, heavy musicians, all kinds of musicians, and they're like, love Jim Croce. And I'm like, he's one of those guys who never gets any cred, right, Josh?
Well, I got to say, I feel like Warren Zevon is in many ways is like a proto version of Rob Zombie. Werewolves of London, this guy was, trespassing in horror and rock, unintentionally in the late 70s, early 80s there. So, well, Rob, we want to thank you so much for joining us. We were so excited to see you literally a couple weeks at Sonic Temple and welcome to Rockville Festivals. We can't wait to see your performance and give our best to Sherry. And thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good to see you all.
Oh my gosh, Rob Zombie. Honestly, that is one artist I never get tired of seeing live, ever.
He's amazing live, and it was so great that he came to hang out with us on the show today.
Hey there, thanks for watching AXS TV. Subscribe, follow, like, and do all the good stuff. And make sure you leave a comment below. I don't know, just let us know what your favorite AXS TV show is, or who your favorite bands are, and what artists you're into, or just say hi, man. I'd like to be told hi. We love hearing from you. That's the point, all right? Keep it coming.